Well, what about this third one that we all run into sooner or later? And that is releasing a staff member. You know, it's easy to release a staff member when they release themselves through their failure to do the job, through something that they do illegal or a moral failure. But that's not where most of the difficulties lie. The difficulty lies when you've got a C player and you're trying to have an A department, an A program, an A church, an A business. The difficulty comes when you have outgrown a person. The difficulty comes when the resume wasn't equal to the reality. And now they're here and you go, oh my gosh, that's not what I thought I was getting. So when you find yourself in that situation, what can you do? Some things to keep in mind. Number one, do it now, not tomorrow. People problems don't get better with time. And poor performers who have been coached and can't turn into a good performer will not suddenly change. It's always better to do it now instead of tomorrow. Every day you wait, you are hurting the person, you are hurting your organization, and you are hurting your credibility. But a second thing is share the blame. I think this is so important. When it comes to severance, be generous. One of my rules in my life is this: if we have to let someone go, and it's not a case where they let themselves go, then it's half my fault. You see, we brought them there, or we put them in a position that they were not able to fulfill. And to simply treat them as a tool or a thing to suddenly say, hey, I'm getting rid of this couch and I'm buying a new couch, I believe is immoral. People have families. People have kids. They have wives. They have moms. They have dads. These are real people. These are not things on your staff and your team. And that means that when you got the wrong person in the wrong seat on the bus, you got to share half the blame. But there's a third thing you have to keep in mind, and that is don't expect to be liked or appreciated. I've never yet found any situation, no matter how generous we were, how much we took the blame, I've never yet found those people to come to me and say, thank you, that was a really good decision. I've never had their spouses come back and say, you're right, my husband or my wife was a jerk. Never. So when you do the right thing, you're sometimes going to get a little bit of the wrong result. Expect that. And by the way, if you're expecting not to be understood, then you don't have to over-explain yourself. One of the problems that often happens when it's time to release somebody is we say too much. And if you say 40 sentences, they're going to remember the 2 that aren't all that accurate. It's far better to simply say it's not working out, it's not a good fit, than it is to give all of the reasons why it's not working out or why it's not a good fit, because they will come back to bite you. And when you give all those reasons, the only reason you and I are doing that is we're trying to convince them that we're making the right decision, when in reality, they're never going to be convinced.